Hello, viewers. Namaste. This is Vibhuti Jha. This is Jaipur Dialogue USA. I'm back again. Yes, I'm guilty of being absent for times. But there are reasons for that. Apart from everything else, I was also away for 5 days to Atlanta for a remarkable conference organized by Dharma Civilization Foundation. More on that later, but that was a truly remarkable event, and everything from the point of view of dharmic world, we talked about it. Delegates came from almost all over the world, and it was a great opportunity for me and a pleasure to be part of that initiative. I'm back now, feeling much better. And, I did not know, frankly, sharing with you that this pneumonia thing definitely weakens you. And my trip to Atlanta was not very strategic from that point of view. It really got me exhausted, but I'm fine now, all right, recovering much more. Today, we want to talk about, the ever since the famous Iran, Israel, United States, the whole saga, the news, We'll talk about the impact and implication of this entire thing that is going around. I'm not here to give you the up-to-date latest news or Sansani cage or breaking news, because I'm here to analyze the impact and implication of what is happening. To talk about this, I have great pleasure in welcoming my friend, Mr. Jamal Hasan. Jamal Hasan is an American security analyst, and I will request, and he's a Bangladeshi, living in America, United States for a very long time. I will request Jamal to make a self-introduction in 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Vibhuti Jha. Vibhuti, again, thank you very much for introducing me. I am of Bangladesh descent, but I'm an American citizen. My background about Iranian affairs dates back to 1983, because in 1982 I came to America, and 83 in Florida I got in touch with a number of Iranian Americans. I think most of them were very secular and obviously anti-Ayatollah Khomeini. So I got interested in Iranian affairs since then. I can say 1983. In 86, I came to from from Florida, Sunshine State, to DC in February. I attended a rally. It was an anti-Khomeini rally, and I saw thousands of Iranians coming from all across USA, and we shouted, "Mark Bane Khomeini," means Khomeini Murdabad, or Khomeini die, something like that. In 1990s, I started to write articles online. In 2002, the then famous news outlet Atlanta Constitution Journal, the paper's representative or reporter Moni Bosu, who is working with CNN, she interviewed me on Iranian affairs, and I have that interview still online. Anyway, coming back to the Iranian matters, first we have to talk about the ethnicity or ethnic mix-up of Iran. Iranians nowadays like to call them Iran, not Persia, because Persians only constitute only 61%. Many of us don't know. Azaris, the Azerbaijanis, 16%, Kurds 10%, Lurs 6%, Baloch 2%, Arabs 2%, Turkmen 2%, and other Turkic tribes 2%. Also, we have to remember the Muslim population, 98.5, a majority of them are Shia, and there is only 0.3% Baha'is, Christian 0.7%, agnostic 0.3%, and Jewish other 0.2%. We have to also take into account that nowadays many of the Iranian Shia Muslims are leaving Islam. Some analysts say that it could be 50 to 60% of Iranians who have abandoned Islam totally. I have been in touch with Iranians, as I said, since Iranians in America since 1983, and I have been following events in Iran. I also came to know that majority of the diaspora, Iranian diaspora in USA, majority of them, I could say 60 to 70%, are not practicing Muslims. Unfortunately, many of the American observers, they think that all Iranians are Ayatollah supporters. It's not the same. On the other hand, I can talk about the mindset of expatriate South Asians.
Wait. We'll come to that later. Expatriate South Asian is not the subject matter. We are
Oh,
talking about the Iranian scenario, which
oh,
at the
no, oh,
moment,
oh, yeah, I got you. I
as
got
we are talking,
you.
the National Security Committee is meeting, Council is meeting, President Vance, DNI, everybody is there because they are taking the Iran reprisal or Iran's response to the bombings that have happened very seriously because America knows, and you know, and I know, that Iran will not dare to, nor does it have the capacity to attack American mainland directly. But they can hit at American bases in Middle East or Europe, or they can activate what is known as their sleeper cells. So even though majority of the Iranian Americans here are anti-Khamenei or anti-religious elements in Iran, they will have sympathizers, the sleeper cells. Your take on that? How what America needs to worry about? Because I say this with the full knowledge and awareness that America is very vulnerable to terrorism attacks because our malls, our bridges are vulnerable and their process would be to spread the infamous word called dahshat, scare the blighters out of Americans, and they can do that in the name of varieties of freedoms that they enjoy in our country and in our setup. Your thoughts?
No, actually, Vibhuti, just to interject on the
Yes.
subject of the South Asians, we should remember that the sleeper cell may come from some of the. I don't want to say that every South Asians are a threat, but it's also a possibility. But regarding the threat from Iran, we have to remember about one thing. It was definitely the mission accomplished. We can say the Operation Midnight Hammer, which constituted 125 planes, 14 B-2, and the Tomahawk missiles were used. But the point is, I want to make, even in Fordo and even Natanz, we have to remember one thing: the centrifuges or other materials, the possibility of transfer. I can quote Mr. Barak Ravid. He used to work with the IDF, Israeli Defense Force, and he's an analyst at the CNN. He also said the possibility that some of the materials were transferred before the American operation. I also think in the same line. Now,
I might just add here, I just heard that before I came to the show that the IAEA chief made the statement that lots of fissile materials from Fordo particularly were taken away. So they did not get damaged to that extent. How? I don't know. I'm not a technologist guy, so I do not know how they took it away and everything else. But IAEA chief said in Security Council that Fordo they took away the fissile materials. Just to update.
I heard the same thing. Yeah, I was following that very with a what can I say? My eyes were glued to the screens, computer screens. Anyway, we cannot discount the possibility of nuclear winter. Like we don't know exactly how much Iranians have gone with the production of the bomb, for example. Actually, our President Trump has been voicing this opinion for long. Maybe our Vice President said this. Trump's predecessors were dumb. I would not say dumb. I would not use that word dumb, but I can say they were too naive. From Obama to you can say Bush, everybody was too naive with the Iranians' plan. Now, two things you have to understand. Iranian foreign minister today, probably going to, Russia, or Iranian foreign minister was crying in a European country that, oh, we are attacked, crying baby. But they forget the one thing that Mr. Trump made it very clear in his speech. They were, from the get-go, they were against West. It is not only political thing, it is also mixed with the religiosity, I would say. That unfortunately, there are these Ayatollahs from 1979 with their Islamic supremacist ideas. I would say very medieval political theological idea They wanted to destroy the West. And you can Google and you can YouTube about Hanoi, Vietnam, or other countries in the Southeast Asia where America bombed with its allies, bombed napalm and all these what I call it, destructive weapons America used 10 years in Vietnam, for example. But Vietnam came to civilized world, and Vietnam doesn't want to say destroy America. Why Ayatollah Khomeini started? Because America never bombed Shah's Iran. Shah's Iran was a prosperous country. There was peace in the Middle East. Unfortunately, they thought Shah was part of RCD, Regional Cooperation of Development with Pakistan and Turkey. You know that Shah's Iran was Seato, Cento. Yeah, it was a pro-Western. But the people were relatively happy. Obviously, Shah was an authoritarian. We know that. But they kicked out Shah. They occupied American embassy for 400 days. I'm talking about Iranian Khomeini supporters. Why the hatred? They did not even Israeli leaders are saying, please show the olive branch. Please change your strategy. Until now, they said we want to wipe out Israel from the world's map and death to America. Now, on the one hand, Vibhuti, you said death to America. On the other hand, we want meeting, we want peace. This cannot go side by side. Trump understood their game, and yes, Trump played the nice chess game, because unfortunately, these mullahs are very conniving, shrewd chess players. From JCPO, you know that JCPO, when it was established in the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, it was under President Obama's watch. It was an agreement between Iran and China, France, Germany, Russia, UK, USA, plus the European Union. The deal was finalized in Vienna on July 14, 2015, and key provisions included reducing Iran's nuclear centrifuges, capping uranium enrichment 3.67%, and reducing stockpile of enriched uranium. Unfortunately, since 2015, Iran did not abide by the JCPOA agreement. Look into the history of the JCPOA and you can see even IAEA inspectors were not allowed. So Iranian mullahs were playing hide and seek. Mr. Khamenei came to power, I think, after 2008, I think. He was a president before. You probably know that. After Khamenei's death, he became the supreme leader. Vibhuti, I sent you a picture, an image of the Iranian. I don't know if you can show it. You can screen share.
No, can't show it here. Yeah.
Anyway, if you look into that, I'm talking about that, what I call it, that Iranian structure, how the government rules. You can see the supreme, Ayatollah, and then the Majlis or whatever. Then you can see the puppets, cabinet, and all this. Basically, the government, so-called government, Pezeshkian, or their President Pezeshkian or the foreign minister, everybody are puppets of the mullahs. That is the problem. Mullahs are run by theological ideas, basically. Mullahs are not actually compatible to the modern world or modern civilization. You understand? They want to send the world to the cave time, basically, cave age. You understand? Stone age, basically. Kill all the Westerners, kill all the infidels, and where's the flag of Shiite Islam or whatever? Do you think modern civilization can live side by side with people with such mindset, having big nuclear bombs? No, clearly no. So I would not mind if President Trump ordered the Flying Pentagon E-4B. You know that? It's an airplane where president can order his directives to his generals, everybody from the sky. Because suddenly there's a dirty bomb, for God's sake, burst into DC. Where can president go? Underground? President may fly. So we are becoming proactive. I'm talking about American people. American administration. I'm talking on behalf of American administration. We are becoming proactive. Now, if you can ask question, we can go to Russia and China, please.
I will come to one question very quickly. Is that, I sometimes feel that US, having lost so-called Afghanistan and Iraq post the 1991 scenario, we have had 9/11, we have had so many wars in the Middle East. US did not do well in those wars. They looked bad. The way they ran away from Afghanistan on Biden's watch and everything else. So US doesn't enjoy that kind of a superiority complex anymore in that part, because people say that you can drain United States out of its wits, as it happened everywhere else. In Vietnam, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, US had to leave the countries, various countries, unfinished job. It didn't win the war. Is that what is giving Iran a confidence? Do what you like, you will eventually lose, you will have to run away. This is a particular issue which is very important for people to understand, because it is critical for the world to know that America remains one of the biggest superpowers. It cannot squander its goodwill and military prowess in unnecessary wars. Is that what is giving Iran a confidence that I can attack American infrastructure, their way of life at will with our sleeper cells? How difficult is it, Jamal? You know, and I know, we live here. How difficult or easy it is to blow up a mall or a bridge? You tell me. To shake the American confidence. Is America ready to accept that terrorist activity can happen on its soil, which they earlier used to say, oh, we are safe from anybody attacking us because we have two sides, big oceans, and we have Canada and Mexico on the other side. That security veneer somehow seems weak. What do you think on that?
Yes, I agree, but it's a very complex issue.
Yes,
We
it
have
is.
to understand two things also. When America attacked, those days in Afghanistan and Iraq, George Bush was proudly espousing the word regime change. And we know that, Afghanistan, I mean, I've been following Afghanistan for a long time also, I wrote an article on Afghanistan in 89 and sent to different senators. You might have a copy of that article.
Yes, you
Actually,
said.
you have to know that Afghan people are far, far backward than Iranians, for example. Okay, it is still, you can see that, still tribalistic, still nomadic, and also they're different ethnic groups, sometimes fighting each other. Okay, and they haven't during Zahisha's time, King Zahisha's time, they probably got a little bit of modernity. For example, maybe the women were going to school or colleges or medical schools. But the point is that Afghanistan is basically a far, far backward country. If you even compare with India, Pakistan, or Bangladesh. Okay, number one. So America went, and America wanted to go, basically want to go for nation building, which was total failure. In Iraq, on the other hand, Saddam Hussein belonging to Sunni minority, 40%, the complexity was there, and obviously the majority were Shias, and Shias were disenfranchised by the Saddam regime. Saddam was a brutal dictator, and America went there and basically killed Saddam, I mean, with the help of the local, operatives, maybe pro-Shia groups. What happened? Ultimately, the Shia insurgency rose up, and ultimately they were right and left, they were killing American soldiers. And it was another failure. Okay, two different scenarios. 5 years, 3 years, 2 years ago also, I was thinking the scenario. If American boots on the ground in Iran, and I realized, no way, it will not be easy, it will be dragging, because you already saw the scenarios in Afghanistan, Iraq. No foreign soldiers are welcome on any soil. Generally, even supposing 60%, 70% support the foreigners, but boots on the ground, generally, it fails. It's a failure philosophy. Okay, we are ideas. So I was thinking, if America were theirs, it will be a failure. Boots on the ground. This time we have to understand, Israel did the dirty job for the whole world. Danny Dennon, The UN representative of Israel a couple of days ago said the same thing. Israel is doing the dirty job. Actually, Israel paved the way to go for American mission. Okay, and we know that Israel also getting hit. It's not America. You can see the images in Tel
Yes.
Aviv, Haifa, Beersheba hospital. You can see today also. I think some of the missiles penetrated the Iron Dome. So Israel is getting hit, but Israel is doing a big job. I said dirty job, but I guess a noble job in a sense for America. So
Yes.
two thoughts, two different views are coming now. One is America did not support fully Israel's operation. So when Israel was winning, then America joined the mission. One idea. Some group of analysts think that way. Another group thinks Trump played the card very good. From the get-go, Trump and Netanyahu played that, oh, you become the bad cop, I'll be the good cop. Bad cop, good cop. And I mean, this scenario may be more plausible, I can say. And what we see, bad cop, good cop worked well. And further, because obviously Israelis could not penetrate with the mob, the massive ordnance penetrator. Israel don't have that. America has B-2, and the B-2 bomber bunker buster effectively worked. But the point was, I'm to make. American analysts are admitting today, Iranians, Mossad, Iranian intelligence has far better idea about the ground level things in Iran. They know Iran like anything, but American analysts or CIA even doesn't know, because Israel from the beginning of Islamic Revolution, Israel knew this country is after them. No Arab country said that we want to wipe out, excepting Israel's proxy like Hezbollah, Hamas. Hamas's charter, you can see. They said that we don't want Israel on the map,
Yes.
basically from a river to the
That,
sea.
that is the Hamas doctrine. That is the Hamas doctrine. Yes.
That
I
is
want to
Iranian.
ask you, I just want to interject, and for the paucity of time and everything else put together, a critical question. Iran has its own internal revolution against the Khomeini. A lot of people are getting butchered, maimed, women are facing atrocities, and there are a whole lot of Iranians who are against Khomeini regime. Do you think they will do an internal revolt in Iran against the Khomeinis, whom Trump wants out, whom Israel wants out? Do you suspect that this something like that can happen, or they will remain steadfast, neutral, silent, waiting for their time to come? What do you say?
You have to remember 2009, there were revolution, no, I'm sorry, people's upsurge, upheaval, okay?
Yeah.
And you know that how Obama, acted. But you have to understand one thing. The people are not armed like Americans have Second Amendment and Americans have arms. You understand? Iranian people are basically armless. They don't have any unarmed. I'm talking about, but excepting maybe some Sunni rebels in the border areas with Pakistan. You can see some militant groups, maybe even some Kurdish groups, maybe. But in general, Iranian people are unarmed. And unfortunately, Islamic Revolutionary Guard has all the arms. Okay, now Israel is obliterating the Islamic Revolutionary Guard to a great extent, but they are not totally eliminated. Okay, now unlike, as I said, I've been observing, unlike religiosity. I mean, if you consider about religiosity aspect, Bangladeshi Muslims, Pakistani Muslims. I've been living in America. I know that more and more becoming more devout, and I would not say they are all political Islamists, but they're more religious. You know that a liberal Bangladeshi coming from Dhaka is becoming more religious. But Iranians, I found out 60 to 70%. You see the Nowruz festival in New York. You live in New York State. Do you think they are all devout Muslim? I saw in Nowruz a float has Zoroaster,
Yeah.
what I call Prophet Zoroaster image, or what I call it, the symbol. So Zoroaster is not Islamic. So because I know my friends, some of them are converting to Zoroastrianism. I know some of them are converting to Christianity. Iran is an interesting scenario in the whole Muslim, so-called Muslim world. Only in this country, secularism is flourishing. I keep tab. I mean, I'm continuously following how the Iranians. I mean, I know. And my friend in 1998, in 97, he got married in Tehran. In Tehran, they don't have any imams among Bangladeshi, Pakistani, in America. They have always imams in marriage ceremony. So how Muslim they are? So now secularism, okay, non-religiosity, we talk. Now the arms. Unfortunately, no American administration never bothered to help the Iranian people who were on the street. When Mahsa Amini was killed, she was a Kurd. Whole Iran exploded. You know that. People from all ethnicity, they joined. Mahsa was not a Persian. She was a Kurd. You understand? Because of the hijab issue, they brutally killed her. Then the question is today, Basis militia and IRGC, if they are crippled, that's one thing. Prince Reza Pahlavi, who lives close to my house, not you are in New York, I mean, not too far from me. Prince Pahlavi, I've been following him, and he has got a great following. And he said that he doesn't want to be the king or the chief executive of the new Iran, but he's a facilitator. But he's popular. Ultimately, people may make him ultimate arbiter. You understand? Now, this Crown Prince Pahlavi has asked the army. Remember, our Iranian army is not IRGC. Iranian army is not that militant. You have to understand that. If there is a fracture, big fracture in Iranian army, we can see many things. At the moment, what can happen? At the moment, I'm telling you, Israeli airplanes are bombing. Volatile people are fleeing from city after city. Do you think anti-Khamenei people will come to the street at this point? This is a volatile situation. Let the dust settle. I am hopeful. What Trump said, MIGA, make Iran great again. I hope the time is not far.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask you a particular question. And, as an American security analyst, you can give me an answer in a short word. There's no definitive answer to that. It's a concern question. Do you think that current regime's sympathizers, sleeper cells exist in America? Can they be activated? Can it happen in a Long Island mall, or can it happen in your neighborhood mall, or can it happen to a bridge to destabilize, to spread what is known as the dahshat? I can bring you down. Can it happen?
It can happen, but you have to see two things also. Shiite population, among the Muslim community or in the Islamic world is how much? Maybe less than 30%. So sleeper cell definitely should be from Shiite origin. We knew one thing, that historical Shiite Sunni conflict. We knew one thing, that even not a few years ago, there was a Hazara community in Afghanistan, which are Shia, and Shia mosques were bombed. We knew Shia Sunni riot in Pakistan. We knew Shia mosques were bombed in Pakistan. We knew also that sizable Muslim population in India are of Shiite origin. Nonetheless, this type of sleeper cell could have. We saw what from the Sunnis. Nafis, a Bangladeshi aspiring student who came to USA. Nafis, remember, he's not a sleeper cell. He's a newcomer in USA. Nafis was from Sunni origin, like Bangladeshi. Most Muslims are Sunni, you know that. Nafis wanted to detonate bombs in New York. It happened like 12 years ago. He was jailed 30 years, remember. Talking about sleeper cell, Sunnis give more danger. I mean, Sunnis pose more danger to Western world. In a sense, if Sunni extremists are activated, you understand? Shiites, yeah, that's possible. Yeah, it can happen. But 9/11 was not done by Shiites. 9/11 was done by Sunnis. You understand? 9/11, Pentagon attack, all this done by Sunnis, who are the majority of the Muslim population of the world. Remember, and unfortunately, those days they were supported by certain sections in the Gulf Arab countries. Iran is a diminishing power. In the Gulf Arab, those Gulf countries, the Gulf Arab countries, people are not that secular, excepting changes are happening in UAE, you know that, and also in Saudi Arabia by the MBS, the Prince Sultan, and who is trying to change the country from the top. But the people are still very, very primitive. Iranian people, yeah, that is a danger from the sleeper cell. But on the other hand, I'm talking about among the Iranian Americans, there is a great majority who are pro-secular, and even they want a new Iran. So that's the other side. Remember, but can you say during the time of 9/11, most Sunnis said, "Oh no, we want do." But you have to another thing also. Don't forget Shia Sunni divide. When 9/11 occurred in Iran under Khamenei's watch, 2001 September, after September 11, people had a vigil in Tehran. They supported America. You understand? In Iran. And I heard, Vibhuti, you can go back, and I heard that some places in the Sunni world they distributed sweets
Yes.
after 9. You know that.
Yes.
So you can see it's complex. It's a complex thing, but at the end, modern civilization will prevail. Of course, there is a danger of dirty bombs and anything. It can happen, but I think ultimately the secular Iranians will be the victorious.
That's good to hear that secular Iranians will be victorious, and I think people are looking for change. People,
I want to please, if you can bring the global dimension, I can talk about a little bit quickly.
I'm coming to that. I'm not ending. I'm just coming to that one element. How serious and sincere are Russia and Chinese love for Iran? How sincere is that? Because in geopolitics, things move. The chess game of geopolitics is very interesting. You do not know what moves are being made. So, do you think Russia and China are genuinely in the welfare of Iran, or is it one of those Security Council gameplay to control and dominate the world and manage the puppets in the particular way?
Vibhuti, money talks.
Money talks. Okay. Okay.
Okay. China's role, first I have to go. And I have been, watching when China's situation or China's basically game plan, and from different sources, different analysts, I was listening to them. First thing that Iran has been secretly selling oil, okay, and that with the
Yeah.
ghost ships, 400
Yeah.
500 ghost ships, and it was a black market and all this. So that's why I've been watching sometimes Travel Channel, and I was watching malls in Iran, Tehran, and of course you can see nowadays the women without chador, but very affluent, Gucci and all the stores. You'll be surprised. Cuba under sanction by the US for many years, and you can see Cuba. They're using 50s vintage cars. In Iran, you can see BMW, but you might be surprised. How come? How it happens? Yes, Iran is siphoning money from countries like China and Russia. You understand, and other countries. Even that India and Iran had also traded during sanction. Trump, U.S. President Biden didn't want, but India traded with Iran. You know that probably. So now the question is, 90% of Iranian oil, okay, was exported to China all these years, and as observers say, $400 billion trade was going on. So China, between China and Iran. So China has a vital interest in maintaining the status quo. Remember, one thing, Iran was playing what I call it a puppet of China. China's that Belt and Road Initiative, encircling Indian subcontinent, and you probably know that America felt threatened, and the one theory is to counter China, America installed regime of Yunus. I mean, talking Biden administration to counter China. This is this area, Southeast Asia, near Myanmar border, Indian side, Southeast Asia, Indian side. On the other hand, on the Iranian side, Iran was playing uh, always a very obedient servant of China. In a sense, all the China's interests were served by Iran, which was also counter to America's long-term interest. That's why China is not happy. But China could not do decisive. Yeah, of course, in Security Council it will make raise voice definitely. But at the end of the day, China will not be able to prevail, or America will not listen to China's crying babies thing. Okay, now. When I said 90%, 90% of the Iranian oil going to China, I'm quoting Gordon Chang of Great Stone Institute. Okay, so I mean, I'm quoting some source. Now, about the Putin, you said, Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, was interviewed 2 days ago. Russia was bogged down, was very much into Ukraine affair. I told in Bangla channel, some of the Bangla medias, you may not have access to those, or you may not understand what I was telling. I was telling from the beginning, like before Trump took his presidency, I said that Trump and Putin will get along. So Sergei Lavrov has said a good thing. You have to, if you look into the interview, you can read between the lines. He actually commended President Trump's view on Ukraine regarding Ukraine conflict, and especially President Trump's basically acknowledgement of Russia's security need, which none of the European Union country ever bothered. Okay, and President Trump already said on the record about that negotiation between Zelensky and Putin may come, taking into account that Crimea is legitimately under Russian control. So regarding, you have to understand that I believe so. I believe also, it's my analysis that regarding Iranian conflict, Russia will not vehemently oppose American actions because Russia has other things on the platter, especially Ukraine. Ukraine is Russia's backdoor. Ukraine is Russia's vital interest. You have to understand, Ukraine and Russia had a historical background. You have to understand, it was part of Russia, Soviet Union in all this. Iran suddenly came. And because of Iran, Russia, China axis, it was a threat to America. So I can tell you one thing. It will be also US interest if there is a regime change in Iran, because today Ayatollah Khamenei is in power, tomorrow Ayatollah Asghari or Yazidi or somebody will come with the same ideological mindset. Kill the infidels, finish America, finish Israel. How you can talk with them unless they change their mindset? Do you understand? Do you think pigs will fly? Do you think future Ayatollahs will suddenly change their mindset? Oh no, we embrace the Jews, we embrace the Christians. Do you think pigs will fly, Vibhuti?
Certainly, you and I know it will not. But then there are people who believe the earth is still flat. So what can we do about that? So having come to that, I will ask you one more question is that, do you think regime change can happen or will happen? Will the US force it? Or will the people of Iran, as they are, celebrate it? Will it happen? Short answer for that.
Iranian people, I can say, as I said, that even inside Iran, majority are not even religious, number one. Majority are not pro-mullah, but they don't have arms, okay? So this is the thing. This is the fundamental difference between Iraqi situation and Afghan situation. We have to understand that Iranian people have civilization in pre-Islamic country.
Yes.
Many Iranians don't like Arabs. You have to understand, because
Yes.
Arabs brought the ideas. Many Iranians love Nowruz. They'll jump on fire. Even Mr. Erdogan of Turkey, recently during the Nowruz, I saw he was jumping on fire. This is not Islamic ritual. You know Erdogan. Go to the YouTube. You can see Erdogan
Yes.
jumping on fire. Nowruz. Nowruz is a Persian celebration from pre-Islamic time. So Iranians people are hopeful. And only thing, somebody has to do the orchestration. Like America did a good orchestration. It was a good orchestra with the Operation Midnight. That is what I call it. That midnight thing that America did with 125 planes, Tomahawk, decoy planes, and all this. So Israel is doing hard work. Okay, Israel is being attacked, and Israel has been attacked by the Ring of Fire. You know, all these years by the Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, Syrian Shiite militia, Iraqi militia, whatnot. Israel took all the brunt. Now Israel is finishing the job. Now it's up to the Iranian people. Nobody should give Iranian the freedom with a platter. And Iranians are proud people, proud nation with a long civilization. We have to understand. They are not like a Bangladeshi or Pakistani who became Muslim and suddenly become more Muslim than Arabs. You understand?
Yeah.
They are very proud of their Persian heritage. I believe nobody on earth can stop this aspiration, but it will take time. It's a hard way. It's a long and winding road.
Well, that's a very, very, very nice perspective you said about Iranian being a very proud group of people. You also said that they are not like the Bangladeshi or Pakistani Muslims who are claiming to be what they are. Very astute observation. Thank you very much for saying so. I appreciate that. And thank you very much for being here. I have a last question. Tell me one thing. Is this conflict between the Iran, the Arab world, and America, are we seeing a modern 21st century version of jihad versus crusade? Does that
No,
thought come to your mind?
no, not at all. We have to another thing also, theologically speaking. Okay, go back to the old history. Like you know that Shia Sunni conflict. If you go to the Battle of Camel, you know that Hazrat Aisha versus Hazrat Ali's fight. You know that, and you also, if you don't know, most people in the Sunni world, they think Hadith is semi God's word. You know, Bukhari. You know, but Iranians don't care about. I mean, Shias don't care about that. Okay, but Shia Islamist and Shia Sunni Islamists, they fight each other like dogs. When come to Israel or America, they sometimes unite. You understand? But if the Israel or America aspect is gone, then Shia Sunni again will fight. And I talk about that. The Abraham Accord was in a blooming when I was in Saudi Arabia. I was deployed in Saudi Arabia in 2017, and obviously Trump came. And those days, Trump came, and remember Trump's Orthodox Jew son-in-law Kushner got red carpet, and Ivanka Trump got red carpet treatment in Saudi Palace. I was in Riyadh at the time, but and also there was a lot of whispering and like rumors that Mr. MBS got all the security apparatus or security support from Mossad. Whatever it is, we found out what MBS, the prince, Saudi prince, became good friend of Jared Kushner, Orthodox Jew. You understand? Abraham Accord was floated by Trump. You understand? In 2017, which countries were coming in fold? UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Bahrain, one after another. Then what happened? Suddenly, October 7, haha, we say engineered by Ayatollahs, and Hamas attacked Israel. Ultimately, Saudis track back, and Saudis will not do anything openly supporting Israel when Israel is supporting, when Israeli government is, for example, killing sometimes innocent civilians, definitely, and a lot of civilians were killed. We know they're Palestinians, okay? But again, you have to understand another thing also. Palestinians are not well received in some of the Gulf countries because of the first Gulf War, when Saddam occupied Kuwait. Then most Palestinians, including Yasser Arafat, supported Saddam. So you remember, and 700,000 Palestinians were kicked out from where? From Kuwait. And remember, going back a little bit further, Jordan's King Hussein had fought against Palestinian local, inhabitant, what I call it, Palestinians living in Jordan, and there was a Black September, and Mr. Ziaul Haq, you know that, supported Jordan's King Hussein, and there was a fight between Palestinians and obviously Jordan's King Hussein, and also Lebanese civil war was partly engineered by immigrant Palestinians. So you have to understand all these complexities. Gulf countries do not like Palestinians, like Bangladeshi Muslims or Pakistani Muslims who love Palestinians, but Gulf countries who don't like to see Israelis killing Palestinians. You understand? It's a balancing act. It's a balancing act. So you have to see the whole picture.
Yes. I think Mr. Trump was right when in the first term he had said, why are we getting involved in the Middle East? Those people are fighting with each other for donkey's years, hundreds of years. Why are we getting involved? Maybe you can remind him of that particular, story. Get out of there. There is nothing out there, So, hey, Jamal, thank you very much.
Oil. Anyway.
So, Jamal, thank you very much for coming on the show today, and your insights very valuable. And I appreciate being here. And we will talk again. And I hope greater sense prevails everywhere, because we are living in very dangerous times where damages to human life can be rather worse now than it could be several years ago. So with these thoughts, I always say, Satyameva Jayate, truth must triumph, and for truth to triumph, you and I will have to stand up and fight for it. It doesn't come easy. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Namaste.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you.